Take a look.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post. You already know the vibes. And it's Wednesday, so you already know what that means. It's time for your AEW Dynamite review. And listen, Tony Khan, I know you're watching this, boy. I know you're watching. This right here, this is the AEW I like to see. This is the episode of Dynamite I like to see. This is the all elite wrestling that I know. This right here, this episode from top to bottom, beginning to end, this is the AEW that I love. This is it. My only issue, my only issue with this episode of Dynamite actually had nothing to do with Dynamite at all. It had nothing to do with the show. It was just one particular little thing that bothered me throughout this episode. It was a certain fan in the front row rocking a t-shirt that had the words big, black, and jacked on it. And this fan was not jacked, nor was he black. He was big, but the other two things didn't pertain to him. And it was just the fact that he was in the front row and you just saw him every time on camera. It was just like, why, of all the AEW merchandise, of all the AEW shirts, you had to choose that one? Why? You could have rocked a Bruv shirt. You could have rocked an AEW shirt. You could have rocked the Britt Baker with a black eye shirt. But you chose that one. So that was the only thing that bothered me. Other than that, phenomenal episode of Dynamite, man. Let's just get into it. Let's talk about it. So it started off with Daniel Garcia being interviewed by Renee Paquette. He's talking about his match with Will Ospreay for the International Championship. But MJF comes up out of nowhere and he says that he has Daniel Garcia's back. Matter of fact, he's going to be in Daniel Garcia's corner for this match. And that was an automatic red flag, because why is MJF so invested in Daniel Garcia? Why does he care so much about Daniel Garcia winning the International Championship? We'll get into that in a couple of minutes. But before the match, you saw Will Ospreay talking to Don Callis, and he's explaining why he didn't do the Tiger Driver. He's explaining why he didn't Swerve to death in the face with the screwdriver. And it was simply because he's not the same man he was a couple years ago when he first started running with the Don Callis family. He's not the same person that beat up Kenny Omega. He's not the same person from last year. He's changed, he's evolved, he's grown. And he said that straight up, he wants out of the Don Callis family. And Don Callis was like, normally I don't do this because you're contractually obligated to be part of this family. But because his will, he let it slide. He gave him a hug and said, maybe one day I'll ask a favor of you. But this was very Bloodline-esque, because you cut to Don Callis looking menacing and evil with his big, bald, stupid head. And you also saw Kyle Fletcher there, and he walked away with Don Callis because Kyle Fletcher is still a part of the Don Callis family, even though he's still friends with Will Ospreay. So that might come into play in the near future. But we'll go ahead and get into the main event. Will Ospreay, Daniel Garcia International Championship with MJF in Daniel Garcia's corner. And a lot of people were saying, oh man, tonight is the night Daniel Garcia is going to do it. DG is going to beat Will Ospreay. And I'm like, y'all sure about that? Because to me, there was no way Will Ospreay was going to lose 2 matches back to back. He already lost to Swerve for the AEW Championship. There's no way he was going to lose to Daniel Garcia. I like Daniel, but it wasn't going to happen. Towards the end of the match, MJF was trying to get Daniel Garcia to cheat. He was trying to get him to use the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Daniel Garcia said, nah, I'm doing this fair and square. I'm doing it the right way because he's a good person. He's a good R-Truth. And once again, being a good person cost a person the championship, cost him the match, because as Daniel Garcia is turning around, he gets knocked into next week with a hidden blade from Will Ospreay. loses the match 1, 2, 3. After the match, you see Will Ospreay consulting Daniel. He's giving him words of encouragement. He's saying British things. He's trying to comfort Daniel Garcia, even though he's crying and upset about the fact that he lost. And then as Will Ospreay leaves, you see MJF kind of doing the same thing. And I knew something was up. I knew MJF was up to no good, because it's just the little tendency he does with the way he raises DG's arms up to the sky and he's pandering to the crowd. I knew that kick was coming, and sure enough, he kicked Daniel Garcia right in the nether regions, right down south, right where the sun doesn't shine. And then MJF proceeded to beat the holy Jesus out of Daniel Garcia. And the crowd is going crazy. They're booing. Commentaries, they're letting MJF have it. They're saying, why, MJF? Why? He's such an evil person. This man went to Turkey, got his hairline fixed, and now he wants to act all brand new. And MJF is just going full heel. He's flipping off the crowd. He's yelling at the camera. He's yelling at fans. You have Christopher Daniels and the referees coming out trying to break everything up. Will Ospreay tries to limp his way out to the ring and try to make the save, but he's too late. And the show ends with MJF going through the crowd, yelling at people, throwing trash at people. He got in somebody's face. I thought they were going to fight for real. I thought it was going to be a Mouse at the Palace situation, but that didn't happen. But yeah, man, MJF has lost his marbles. He's gone full heel. Bro thinks he's Triple H back in 2001. And also, MJF is going to be on Collision this Saturday. I'm assuming to explain his actions. Also, because Money in the Bank is this Saturday, so you get it. So yeah, man, MJF is fully heel once again. No more kangaroo kicks, no more sportsmanship, none of that. It's evil MJF. So we'll see where this goes, man. We'll see. As for the rest of the episode, it started off with Bryan Danielson versus Pac to see who will be in the finals of the Owen Hart tournament. And you already know what time it is. It's Bryan Danielson, it's Pac. They're going to have a good wrestle. They're going to have a good match. Bryan Danielson is going to make it seem like he just died in the ring again. Pac is going to sell a DDT like nobody's business. And these two had a really good match. Good grabs, man. Bryan Danielson won, of course. And he's going to wrestle with the winner of the Jay White versus the wild card match. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Bryan Danielson, he's going on to the final. He's one step away of wrestling once again for the AEW Championship at Wembley and All In. Speaking of the Owen Hart tournament, we go to Willow Nightingale. She's cutting a big babyface promo. She's saying she's going to keep smiling no matter who gets in her way, no matter who screws her over. She's just going to be positive and keep smiling and handle the ops. And speaking of this, we go to Willow versus Chris Statlander. And honestly, man, I feel like this could have been a pay-per-view match. If they would have had this at All In, I would have been cool with it. If this would have happened at Forbidden Door, I would have been cool with it. Any pay-per-view, this would have been an awesome pay-per-view match. But we got it for free. We got it for free on free television. And to my surprise, man, as much as I love Willow, this really surprised me because I thought that Chris Statlander was going to win, but Willow ended up getting the win. So she's going on to the next round of the Owen Hart tournament. I'm not even mad at it. I'm not mad. So I think it's going to be Willow taking on Mariah May, I think that's it. No. It's going to be Willow taking on the winner of Kushida versus Mariah May. So then it'll be Mariah May versus Willow. So yeah, the Owen Hart is shaping up quite nicely, if I do say so myself. Next up, we have Mark Briscoe coming out. And I'm like, well, what is Mark Briscoe doing out here? I'm glad I asked, because he explained that he had an opportunity to become the new TNT champion this past Sunday at Forbidden Door, but Jack Perry got the win. He's the new TNT champion. But Mark Briscoe said, AEW means a lot to him, so he's going to continue to fight the good fight. And he officially declared that he's going to be in the Blood and Guts match for Team AEW. I'm like, okay. I was not expecting this at all, but I'm really cool with it because Mark Briscoe is off his rocker. And it makes perfect sense for him to be in the Blood and Guts match. So as Mark Briscoe was talking, he's attacked by Jack Perry and the rest of the Elite. EVPs and Okada come out. And then Kyle O'Reilly comes out to make the save, and he gets beat up as well. And then the Acclaim comes out, and the Elite runs away from the Acclaimed. And I'm like, why is it the Acclaim? Why? Hopefully the Acclaim has nothing to do with this blood and guts match. Hopefully something happens to them storyline wise so they can't be involved, because I don't want to see the Acclaimed in this glorious blood and guts match at all. So hopefully they keep the family away. Hopefully they stay away from the blood and guts match to the Acclaim. I don't want to see it. But something I do want to see is a match that's most likely taking place at All In. And this is most likely going to be between Mercedes Mone, the CEO, and Dr. Britt Baker, the DMD. Britt Baker made her official return to Dynamite tonight. She's out there. She's pretty much explaining her whereabouts, where she's been, why she's been gone for so long. And she said that at first it was because she was nursing the injuries. I think it was something going on with her back and her hip. And then once that got settled, she was ready to come back. However, she revealed that she suffered a TIA, which is a mini stroke. It's not a full-blown stroke, but it's a little mini stroke. So that's really the real reason why it took Britt Baker so long for her to come back. Because I was wondering, I was like, okay, it shouldn't take her this long to heal from these injuries, but you know, everyone heals at a different pace. So whatever. But that was the real reason why she was gone for so long. And as Britt Baker is talking, you see Matthew and Nicholas on the big screen. They're welcoming Mercedes Mone. They're saying that Mercedes is going to have a big championship celebration to celebrate the fact that she's 2 belts Mercedes. And as Britt Baker is standing in the ring, you see the ring crew setting up. They're pulling out the balloons and confetti and whatnot. Mercedes makes her way out to the ring. She does her little CEO dance. And Britt Baker is not impressed. Matter of fact, she says, like, enough of this. Me and you all in. What do you say? And Mercedes is pretty much downplaying this. And I mentioned this on Twitter that I had a feeling that Mercedes and Britt Baker would have a bitch off, a battle to see who can say bitch the most. And I was right. I was 1,000% right, because that's exactly what happened. And basically, it's looking like it's going to be Mercedes versus Britt Baker at All In. And 2 things of note. The first thing was Mercedes came out the heel tunnel, and the second thing, the crowd was telling Mercedes to shut the F up. So it's looking like we're getting heel Mercedes, and I'm here for it, because Mercedes works much better as a heel. Something I don't want to do is listen to Chris Jericho talk, because unfortunately he came out, he's doing the Learning Tree gimmick, and he's talking about his match that he had at a Forbidden Door, the fact that he lost to Hook, the fact that Hook used the Judas effect. And Chris Jericho was saying that that's a cardinal rule that you don't break. You don't use another wrestler's move and blah, blah, blah. And he also talked about the fact that Taz was happy about his son beating Chris Jericho. So he talked to Matthew and Nicholas and had Taz removed from commentary. And Chris Jericho will be replacing Taz on commentary for the rest of the night. And I almost wanted to pull my hair out, because I didn't want to listen to Chris Jericho on commentary for the remainder of the show. Thankfully, this was only a 1-segment deal, because after this we had a trios match between the Gates of Agony and Hook, Samoa Joe, and Shibata. And Team Samoa Joe ended up getting the win because all 3 of them choked out the Gates of Agony. And they pretty much got punked out by 3 dudes that are way smaller than them, so yeah. But after the match, you have the Learning Tree beat up Team Samoa Joe. Brian Keith hits Shibata with a chair. He broke his arm. Samoa Joe was getting beat up. And then you cut to the back where Hook's being taken care of by Medical, and the Learning Tree beats up Hook again. And we have the return of the Wizard, because Chris Jericho threw flaming fire in the face of Hook because he's a wizard and a Learning Tree. And that's kind of dangerous, because you don't want fire near a tree, because that could create a forest fire. So be careful. Be careful. That's my little PSA for me to you. So the last thing I want to talk about is the wild card, because now we go to the last match of the evening that I'm going to talk about. Jeff Jarrett who is, making a big case for why the Owen Hart tournament means so much to him. He's saying that Owen Hart was his tag team partner. They were friends. He's going to win it for Owen. They're really trying to babyface Jeff Jarrett really, really, really hard. So I automatically knew that this man was not winning. Especially when the music of the Hangman hit. And Hangman Adam Page makes his return. He has a new theme. He looks mad. He has pants on. His beard is coming back in. He doesn't have the goofy looking mustache. And like I said, Hangman is looking upset. He's looking pissed off. He's looking agitated. He's even more agitated and mad because the people keep chanting for Swerve. And every time the people chant for Swerve, Hangman got madder and madder. And surprise, surprise, Hangman Adam Page beat Jeff Jarrett. And he's going to move on. And he's going to wrestle Jay White on Collision, I think. And the winner of that match will go on to wrestle Bryan Danielson next week in Calgary. So, most likely what's going to happen next week, we're going to get Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Adam Page. And I'm kind of torn because the story of Bryan Danielson is he really wants to win. He's tired of losing all the time, and he wants to go out on his own terms and hopefully win the AEW championship. But you also have Hangman, who's just lost his mind. Swerve ruined this man's life. He turned him into an alcoholic once again. He threw a t-shirt on his baby and cut a promo on him. So Hangman is out for revenge. So this really could go either way. But the final thing I want to talk about is the fact that you have Hangman and the Elite. And the Elite are asking Hangman to be in the Blood and Guts match because the Elite need one more person to complete their team. And Hangman, surprisingly, wants nothing to do with the Elite. He wants nothing to do with Blood and Guts. His main focus is the Owen Hart tournament and winning the AEW championship once again. And Swerve is the AEW champion, so he wants to kill two birds with one stone. He wants to get his hands on Swerve once again and become AEW champion. So we still have no idea who the fifth man for the Elite will be. We don't know who the other four participants in Blood and Guts will be for Team AEW. So we gotta wait and see. Hopefully, Sammy Guevara and the Acclaim are not involved because that would stink on ice. But guys, with that being said, what did you think of this week's episode of Dynamite? Did you like it as much as I did? Let me know in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Bees, I'm out. Peace.